infinite game. It's this game that kind of just keeps going and going and going and going. And we need to be better prepared to look at our career as a career versus looking at a job, right? If we keep approaching this transactionally, we're not going to get to where we want to go. So what I wanted to do is help you guys organize your thoughts, organize your challenges, and create a scalable system on how you could continue growing. So one of the things that we talked about was everyone at the end of the day making a challenge sheet, right? And there are 3 tabs that you want to have. First tab is what is the challenge, right? The second tab is what you can control. The third tab is what is your response. Now let's walk through that. Challenge. The client wants to cut my commission on a listing pitch. What can I control? My emotions, correct? Oftentimes when someone tells you that you're not worth what you're worth, or that they want to pay you less, you can become very reactionary, very combative, and very emotional. And as soon as you put those emotions into the transaction, what happens? You lose. It's over. Right? Emotions don't equal influence, right? I would write that down for people. Emotions don't equal influence. When you're in an emotional state, do you ever make logical decisions? No. And if we're in an emotional state and we're trying to influence someone in making a logical decision, is that really going to work? No. So one of the requests I often get from this group and other groups is, hey, Chirag, can you show me how to say that? I wish you were there to say it for me. So no, this is not my new office. This is an office that I work out of. My office is actually being built and it should be ready in September. We'll have a big party and we'll invite all of you. So it'll be fun. And when you think through this, right, I want to take today and some of these sessions going forward and literally help you build out the list. Because if we have a list here, I can start getting through these like this, right? Rapid. Then you guys could take them and practice them over and over and over again. As our coaching program evolves, one of the things that we realized that was completely missing in real estate coaching is most real estate coaches look backwards, meaning they have a program and it's based on things that they think people need, which generally are true, right? So they create a program about it. But real estate is a fluid business, right? So think about this. If you think about the words recession, reset, changing market, low inventory, aren't those very present situations today? Has what you're doing today changed than what you did 60 to 90 days ago? 100%. Has it changed from January 22nd, where $3,500 would get you $804,000 in a mortgage? Today it gets you about $640,000. So one of the things is these programs for all of you need to be fluid, meaning that whoever the coaches that you choose to work with, and I'm happy you chose to work with us, needs to be able to provide you ongoing training on what's going on now and what's coming next. So if something changes in the market, it shouldn't be the training of the past. It should be like, all right, guys, this is what we need to do today, right? And this is why I wanted to start documenting all these challenges. When Compass comes out with a new tool, we need to provide you training that says, this is how you use the tools in the context that we've been talking about. Because again, it goes down to one program, one platform, one company. Everything needs to be centralized. And that's how we need to start thinking about this going forward. So everyone start putting someone that has a spreadsheet, you could put it in the chat, or you could start listing your challenges and I will just start literally answering them rapid fire one by one today. And then when we go back to the video, my team will splice them into individual things, right? Where Andrew, I believe you're on here. Hold on. I think he's on here. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. All right, guys, when you watch this recording, you're going to want to take the question that I ask, which is the challenge, and then get the full response and cut them down into pieces. All right, let's see what we got here. Does anyone have any questions about like the context, the framework, and how we need to approach our business going forward? And Rena, welcome. Okay, great. You haven't sold in my area or price point, right? So number one, right? What really is that challenge? That challenge really is a client saying that their belief is that an agent that sold in that area and in that price point is the right agent for the job, correct? Holly, unmute yourself.
Correct.
Now, how did this person come to you? Or how did you end up with this person?
I'm just using this as an example. If I'm wanting to break into a specific area, I'm just thinking about the challenges that I may face if I'm trying to, you know, sell something luxury in a big lake area or something like that.
Well, there are two types of people in this, right? If someone believes that, generally speaking, you end up with these people through referrals, right? Like you're going to get through them through their network. And then you go, the person will set up an appointment and they'll meet you and you'll be all excited, right? And you think you're like, all right, I have a chance of getting this. And then that's like the punch in the face. Like, yeah, you haven't really sold anything, my price or anything. Why should I work with you? Right? And now watch this. What can you control in that situation?
Your emotions, how you react.
You sit there and smile and you say, so what I hear you saying is you believe that someone who sold a lot of homes in this area and at this price point is the best fit to represent you. And they're going to say, yes. And you're going to say, great. So I know your time is very valuable. What specifically had you meet with me this evening? Flip it right back on them.
Okay.
Right? Because they're going to say, well, there's something there, right? But what these people like to do is they like to poke you, right? Because really what they're asking you is their own insecurities, right? Those are those disappointments, those are those concerns. And then you could start getting through the process, right? Well, you know, there are these agents here that sold a long time, but, and then they're going to then they'll share the opportunity.
I'll show the narrative. Okay.
And then what you're going to say is, remember the rule, never be attached to the outcome. You're going to say, look, one of a few things is going to happen today, right? Number one, you could choose not to work with me. That's 100% okay. Number two, I could choose not to work with you, and that's 100% okay. Or the third one is we could mutually decide that this is a good opportunity and relationship for both of us, and we'll work together. And whatever happens, let's just go through the process together, and you decide what works for you. Would that be okay?
Okay.
Now, how is that something somebody could argue with?
They won't argue with it. They'll be very agreeable, I believe.
Yeah. And now what you do is you're going to go through the exact marketing plan. Like we have that marketing calendar and an exact written communication plan, right? It's like, hey, would it be okay if I shared with you the exact marketing plan I'm going to use to get the best price? Remember, clarity creates confidence. Most agents are not clear in what they offer. They think they are. And then when someone wants to cut their commission in the end, they're like, wait, but I have all this marketing and all this. No, you don't have all this marketing because the way that you represented it, they did not understand. Are we all understand? You see, there's a common framework here as we do this. So that's how you handle somebody that says, you're not new, you haven't sold homes in my area and everything else. And look, in the end, if they're just like, well, I believe that this is who's going to sell my house. And you ask them, why'd you call me here? Well, all we just want another opinion. And you're going to nicely just say, are you interested in knowing the exact marketing plan I'll use to get the best price? Or if that's what you're set in, like, look, I appreciate it and I support you in your decision. When you show up with that kind of confidence, it's going to make any client different, feel differently, think differently, approach you differently. Because most real estate agents are too talkative, they're too thirsty, and they're just like, okay. And they're like order takers. Listen, when you tell a client, I might choose not to work with you, you just took all the control back. I just filled up my gas tank. It was $94. And the first thing I thought of was all of you. It's like, choose your clients wisely, right? Mm-hmm. Heartbeats and pre-approvals don't qualify for buyers. All right, so who's next with their scenario? So thank you, Holly. What else do we got? Yesterday, everyone was very gung-ho. Can you answer this to me? What do you guys all become shy today? Amnesia? Go ahead. Right now, this is very troubling right now on my end. Do you guys not go out and speak with clients? Rena, you're new. What is a challenge that you have? Drop it in the chat. Any challenge you have working with a seller, a buyer, an objection you got, anything that you could say, if I had the answer to this, I could make more money.
I think commission has been a big thing. It's easier to say it than to type it.
Okay, great. So you go through your whole pitch, right? And the person says, you know, I really appreciate what you're saying, but John at Redfin said he would do it for 1% less, right? So in this thing, what are they essentially saying? Number one, the challenge that they have is they did not understand. The first thing you want to know is they did not understand the way that you presented your value. So you have to start looking at the pitch, how you're asking the questions. And if you guys are part of this group, which you are, go into our portal and look at the Delivering the Perfect Pitch videos. There's 25 videos that I have in there on how to give a listing pitch, how to ask the right questions, how to get the clients buy-in. But now let's just say you're here. So we'll go back to our 7 keys of effective conversations. Number one, always agree with them. Number two, it's always their number one, it's always their choice. So I would say, great, Rena. What I hear you saying is you want to maximize the equity in your home. And they're going to say yes, right? Remember, they said they want to work with you, but the other guy said they do it for 1% less. So what people don't realize and what they control is they actually control the outcome to the situation, because the person wants to work with you, but they just want you to do less, right? I would like to buy a nice Ferragamo belt and pay less, and the people at Ferragamo are going to say, well, if you could get that at the other place, go there. This is what our belt costs, right? So the second part is saying, I hear you want to match. So what I hear is most important is you want to maximize the equity in your home. They're going to say, great, yes, you understand. And you're going to say, look, with that being said, Rena, I know your time is very valuable. If you're happy with what John was offering and his marketing plan to get you the best price with your home, what specifically had you meet with me here this evening? Bring it back to them. Let them share their uncertainty and everything else, right? And after that, they're going to give you some more like mumbo jumbo and we weren't sure and everything else like that. Then you're going to pivot again and you're going to say, listen, you know, ultimately what you decide to do, I'm going to support you 100%. And I want you to think about one thing, if that's okay. They're going to say, sure. How many things can you focus on at once? And they're going to say, it's a trick question, right? One. So this is where you actually take out a piece of paper, right? And you really need to actually draw this out so people could see it. So if it's $1 million, right? I would draw $1 million out like this. I'd write the word or, and then I'd put the word $10,000 like this. Because here's the thing. I would say you can either focus on maximizing the $1 million, which is what I'm looking to do, or you could focus on saving $10,000, which is the other scenario. Which one do you think will work better for you? And see what they say. Listen, if they're set on getting a discount, you know those people that no matter what, they don't care what they get. They just care if they get a discount. And those aren't good clients, right? Now they're going to go back. Nishan, thank you for joining us. Now they're going to go back and let them answer, right? Here's the other thing. Are commission cutters generally serial overpricers? Yes. There is a direct correlation between cutting commission and overpricing. These people lie through their teeth. I'll do it for less and I can get you more. Have you ever lost a listing, Rena, where you see the commission is less and it's overpriced and you're like, why did they even do this? So here's the next part about this. What can you control? Your level of knowledge in the market. And sharing with the client, has anyone taken the time to share with you what the actual cost is to you if you get the price wrong? And I guarantee you it's more than 1%, right? And you could say, hey, if the price was off, would 1%, a 1% discount on this $1 million home get you excited to buy it at $990,000? No. Would a 2% discount? No. And pretty much when they get to 5%, that's when they start thinking about it, right? So then you could flip it on them saying, so based on what you're saying, If the price was wrong, you'd have to make a minimum of a 5% reduction to get a buyer interested. And they're gonna say, oh, or look at these other
Wait, what
houses.
did you say? Repeat that, please.
So I would say to you, Marina, has anyone taken the time to share with you what happens if the property is priced incorrectly from the beginning? Because those commission cutters are generally overpriced. They're gonna say no. And you're gonna say, well, you're gonna have to improve the price, right? Right. In this case, I'd say you're gonna have to drop the price. So as a buyer, would 1% make you want to do anything on this house? No. And then you go $10,000, 2%, 20, and you keep going. And generally speaking, when you do this with clients, at 5% is where they'll want to say, okay, that'll make a difference. And then you flip it on them saying, so from what you're saying, with most buyers are like you, if the price is incorrect, you're gonna have to drop by at least $50,000. They're gonna say yes. So you're gonna say, are all these things worth doing to potentially save $10,000? They're gonna say no. But the key thing here is, you see how I walked their brain through like a set sequence to get there? I didn't just start telling, explaining, and combating them. But you have to practice doing this, right? I don't sell real estate anymore, but I practice this all the time with all of you. And that's the only reason I can do it. Practice. So Rena, if you're getting your commission cut, we should watch this video, this part, write down the process and practice it 15 minutes a day. Practice with your son. So when he starts out, he knows how to handle commission objections, right? Anyone that's new into real estate, regardless of where you are, you should be doing this at least 15 minutes a day, right? Certain things like commission cutting is never going to go away. And how you explain the market to a buyer to make realistic offers is never going to go away. All right. Is this helpful for everybody? Okay, good.
One question, is there dialogue in your libraries around this?
There's going to be one today.
Okay,
So what we're going to do is we're going to take this part of the video, chop it up. It'll have the question and then it'll have the answer. There's 650 videos in that library. So there's something about everything. I don't know what exactly is in there. That's our big project for the next few months, as our playbook program launches a way to organize it so it's easier to find what's there. All right, so what is David's question? Not sure if it's, but it seems like a lot of my clients right now just aren't motivated. Buyers and sellers alike struggling with this because balancing nurturing relationships and wasting time. That's a great question, right? So let's unmute you, right? So when they say they're unmotivated, tell me more about that.
Well, they're certainly not saying they're unmotivated. You know, and again, it really is buyers, sellers. And I'm going to try not to be long-winded about it. But at almost every price range over the past probably 4 months, I've met with multiple sellers. I probably have 5 people ready to sell their house or in that process. And for one reason or another, maybe they don't need the money, you know, and these people don't need the money, but of course they're going to want the money and they want the highest price. So they kind of wait and then they go to their Park City house and then they come back. And it feels like week after week, almost now month after month, we're not moving forward. You know, another client was redoing her basement, finishing that, and we're trying to get that on the market. But in the past, 2 months, the market has really shifted. And then same thing with buyers. It's people that are ready to, either buy their first house or downsize. I had a widow, she was ready to downsize and kind of figured out what would be great for her. And then we started seeing those houses and she realized, actually, I don't want to move at all. My house is better for me. So it just seems like across the board, it's, I don't know, I'm just really struggling to find that balance of nurturing these relationships and figuring out, are these people real at all?
So number one, that's a great question, right? Like, so starting off with asking people questions, right? Like, hey, I was like making a joke, like moving is as fun as paying taxes. It's something no one wants to do. It's something you kind of have to do, right? So it's like, asking questions depending on the personality type. What specifically made you want to make a move, or what are you most excited about happening as a result of this move? If it didn't happen, would you be okay staying where you are, right? And understanding what they're really trying to get, and are they okay staying where they are? right? Anyone that says, yeah, like if I did end up having to stay in my house forever now, like it'd be okay, right? And people that really want to move, they're like, no, I can't stay in my home. I need to move. They have an actual reason that they have to move that's like non-negotiable.
Okay.
Right? Same thing with sellers, right? Like, what are you really looking to get out of moving? Is it maxing out your equity, living in a different location? And if you had to stay in your house another 3 to 5 years, would that be okay? And the way that you phrase that is look, if the market doesn't get you what you want, we just want to make sure, are you okay staying where you are for the next 3 to 5 years, potentially, and wait out a different market or a better scenario for you? You want people that say no to that question.
So you think like the kind of like the pivot question is really, what happens? Are you okay if this does not happen forever or for X amount of time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that, are you okay staying where you are if what you're looking for, what is happening doesn't happen?
Okay. Thank
Right?
you. It's helpful.
And the way that you guys phrase that too is like, hey, we always want to make sure that we go through all the options. Like, as much as I know you're excited about moving, and this is how you downplay it, as much as you're excited about moving and selling your home or buying a home, I just want to make sure if that does not happen, that you're okay staying where you are for the next 1, 3, 5 years. Doesn't that make you sound really nice? Versus like, why do you really want to move? Like, this could be very accusatory, almost like the police.
Yeah.
Right. So remember, it's always in their benefit. Hey, just want to make sure that we have all of our scenarios covered.
Cool. Thank you.
Right. Is that universally helpful? Like, what I want all of us to get in paying attention today is his scenario is your scenario. It might not be today, but it's coming. There is nothing different in these markets besides an MLS, non-MLS, escrow, non-escrow, and price points. All of these scenarios in real estate are the same. So when you start understanding the value of a community, collaborative learning, this is how we have accelerated growth, right? This is how your business gets quantifiably better year after year. Because I promise you, I'm pretty up to date on what other coaches are doing here, not here, trainings, obviously what they offer at Compass. No one is sitting here talking about business this way. We're not taught as agents to approach it with such strategy. And it's not fair because no one ever taught you this. And if we all learned this when we started in real estate in the beginning, we'd be so much further ahead. So it's not too late. We're getting started now. So let's start internalizing all this. All right. So let's see what else we have here. If they want to wait and see, then they want to wait and see. Nothing you could do is going to change that. Right? So if someone says, I kind of want to wait and see what's going on, you're going to say, great, how can I best support you in this? And is there an ideal home that if it did come available that you'd want to jump on it so I can make sure that I'm prepared? That's how we do that one, Heidi. Right? I want to wait and see. Great. So what specifically are you looking for? And is there any type of home that if I found it, I want to make sure to get you in right away because you'd still want to move? Or you just kind of waiting to see where the market, the economy, interest rates, inflation, and everything goes? Great. My client wants a buyer commission rebate. The answer is no. I'm sorry. My company doesn't allow me to do that. Hey, let me check with my manager if that's possible. I checked with my manager, no. Or if you want to do this and really be slick, you tell your manager that I'm going to send an email. I need you to be the bad guy and says, hey, this person's asking for a buyer rebate. Does Compass offer anything like this? And then they could say no. I could say, I'm sorry, I work for a company.
Yeah.
Listen, when people are asking you for rebates, do not explain anything. Hey, my friend said a rebate's available, so can you do that too? No, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not available. I'm sorry, that's not something I can do. And just be quiet. They like, what do you mean? Like, I'm sorry, it's not something I can do. And don't say, well, I did all this work. They don't care about all your work because if they cared about it, they wouldn't be asking for money. Louis, how do they how do you work with someone who's hesitant to work with me for a realtor? Ask them a simple question. What is your hesitations in working with a realtor? Let's unmute you. Be direct with them, right? So look, our job is not to sell the unsellables.
Mhm.
People that don't want to work with a realtor are going to go behind your back. It's like people that you're in a relationship with that kind of step out. If they step out once, you can step out again. It's just who they are. Right? And the other question to ask is, what specific benefits do you feel that you're getting on your own that you feel you'd be giving up by working with a realtor? Right? I'll say that one again. It's a good one. What specific benefits do you feel that you're getting on your own that you'd have to give up when working with a realtor?
I have the answer for that.
What do you got?
When I go directly with the listing agent, I tell them to reduce their commission.
Great. So is the only thing important to you is a reduced commission in this process?
No, but it's very important to all of the sellers, and it's fundamental on how to, especially in this market. I think it's the best way for me to make sure I get the property that I want.
Great. So if that's how you feel, how specifically can I help you?
Nothing. Thank you for answering my call on your listing.
Okay. Have a nice day. Remember, the problem, and I'm going to use the word problem, the problem we all have here is we're trying to take that person who's not going to change their mind and try to change their mind. Bye-bye. $90, $100 to fill up your gas tank. You don't want that person. The first thing you want to do is find someone who actually wants your service. Listen, I share this all the time. I think I'm a fairly smart real estate professional, right? I would not buy a house without a real estate agent. I would not. Not a chance in the world. I wouldn't. If I was buying an investment property in another area, I would use a realtor. I live in Westport, Connecticut. I was thinking of moving. I was using a realtor. When I moved to Westport, Connecticut, I used a realtor. I sold my own home in Westchester myself, but I lived there and worked there for 15 years, right? So that wasn't a big deal. So people see value in what you offer, and the people that don't see value, you have to move on from these people. That is the moral of the story, right? So it's like, if you look at Lewis's question, what Marina said, this is what we deal with every day. And then somehow you convince somebody in that moment to make a decision that they probably don't really agree with. And now you're stuck with this person. And they're not going to want to work with you. They're going to be going behind your back and you're going to be frustrated. It just doesn't work out. So this is our live session today. David's going to join you guys tomorrow for a special session on leadership and continue some things that he's been speaking about. We want to make sure to give you a few different flavors. And look, we'll put this recording up. We'll have them cut it up into the different areas and stuff. I'll have them work on that. And look, I hope this was helpful today, right? And what my message to you as we leave today is, you have to practice this. Right? There's more change coming in this industry in the next 12 to 18 months than you could humanly imagine. All the writings on the wall. All of it. So we will give you what to do, how to do it, but that's about as far as we can go. So find each other, practice, be committed, 15 minutes a day, set it in your calendar. As always, with love in my heart, I love you all, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.